friends, it's Alicia here, and welcome to Ask Alicia, the recorded version. For those of you that don't know, we're also doing live versions with different topics monthly on third Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So, would love to have you there. Your first time is always free, and practitioners are welcome to join as well. I got Monkey in the house with me today, Mr. Monk doing his thing, being all adorable. It is starting to get hot out there, but we have a little cloud cover today, so that's kind of fun. And we are channeling. And I'll be honest, I really did not do a lot of prep for this. I've been wanting to do more and more, just seeing who comes in. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do. I got my little pendulum here if y'all like to douse. Big thanks to Nick Salzman for that. He's got a great business with pendulums. You can see this guy's pretty active today. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But yeah, right now I'm just calling in all of my guides. So the birds are coming in, all the grandmas are coming in. Y'all know how much I love a good grandma. And we're really talking a lot about like nurturing mother energy today. We're talking about all that is feminine. And just a reminder, like so much has been going on. So a lot of it's just like a reminder to keep that comfort in. You can see how much our pendulum loves the comfort. So Mother Mary, she's my lady today. We're going to be channeling Mother Mary. I'm so excited by that. As always, when we channel these energies, like remember it's that soul energy. So even though Mother Mary is like one physical person, her energy has gone across many different bodies and physical people. So sometimes she might be considered Kuan Yin or any of those tributaries of her spirit. There's so many sacred women out there who have fallen under this energy and under this power, and it's really special because we start to see, and Sophia would be the other big one that we hear of often. Sophia meaning wisdom. And we're really talking about this beautiful void that is the creation of all, and particularly of human life. And really, most lives and energies are created through the feminine. It is the darkness, the emptiness, the void that allows all creation to be born from. And yeah, really beautiful. So reminding us about those transformations, reminding us again so much to stay comfortable and recognizing too, the spirit world recognizes that we're physical beings. We have material needs. We need to eat and use the bathroom and go to sleep and all those things. So do please take care of yourself in those ways as well. But also, our comfort extends beyond just those physical needs. Our comfort can be how we feel, the level of confidence, how much love we have for ourselves, how much love we can have for other people as well. There's so many different versions of love, which I love. And remembering too that and I recognize too, so much of our suffering is both culturally or societally based, but also sort of like a rite of passage a lot of times. And it's this reminder that we can choose to have more comfort and kind of hop over that part if we so desire. A lot of our life is conditioned here in the society I live in, at least. And we're expected to be people who just produce. And the reality is that we can very much so create. And so I will, of course, tell the story of Mr. Monkey. He came into my life. He just followed me home one day, and I did all the due diligence. I put up signs around the neighborhood, and after a couple of weeks, I took him to the vet and things like that. I definitely wanted to make sure he wasn't someone else's cat. And yeah, he's just settling in here, my little love bug. And but truly, he just showed up one day, followed me home from the coffee shop. my cute little baby. And of course, I didn't like give birth to monkey. Like, we're not getting weird like that. But I do want you to recognize there's this level of creation that is sometimes considered manifestation. But it's also just this like natural process of evolving and moving through space time. And yes, also a good reminder about time is not linear in the short term or in any term, but basically what I'm trying to get at here is to start thinking of time. One of the easiest ways to think of it is as a dimension of space, right? So much in, again, all this is kind of through my cultural lens. We have the 24-hour day and 7 days a week and 365 days a year. And we don't always recognize when we're like, oh, I'll meet you at 4 p.m., that that is a like point in space time, right? Because our days are situated by, the sun rising and falling. Our years are by the sun going around, or the earth going around the sun, excuse me. Wouldn't that be a crazy world? And also recognizing that people used to think that's how it was. The world was the center of the universe and everything flowed around Earth. And really encouraging us to keep space for when our knowledge shifts and changes, because a lot of what this whole idea of creationism, and sorry, not creationism specifically, but creation in general, is that we are, oh, I just lost it. There's such a clarity right now. I hope you can feel it on this call, but just like this eternal quietness. And I'm really reminded to share this with you because it is this quietness in which all is born. And there's a beautiful silence that exists where sound begins. So, summarizing, right, our time of day is denoted by a place where the sun and earth are aligned in whatever way. And then, right, so high noon would be when the sun is directly above us. Uh, Midnight would be the opposite, basically. You've got dawn and dusk. And remembering too, based on where you are in the world, these are different times, right? If someone told you I'll meet you at dawn, that means something different almost every single place you are, right? Each lateral line has their own version. Um, and we've even created these time zones, right, that help us to align where we're supposed to be at what time. uh, and I'm reminded of kind of the Greek Chronos and Kairos, I want to say. So they had two different versions of time in Greek. We at least in my culture, I never learned about this. And one is basically the 4 o'clock time where, we have the 24 hours in the day. This is when I'll be there. And the other is much more of what I would almost call spiritual time. And that speaks to when, and I'll speak to it in terms of an example would be like when you are so engrossed in something that you love, and then you look at the clock and you're like, oh my God, 10 hours has passed by, right? Things like that. And if you've ever dreamed, right, you can have so many dreams in such a short time, or um, one very long dream over the course of a whole night. And time simply just isn't linear in this sense of Kairos time. And why are we talking about that? Oh, so that connection is that we can be more comfortable if we start to release our connection with that Chronos timeline. And I will mention too, so chronos is the Greek word, the root of it is chrono, and that is where we get chronological, right? And that's this idea that one thing happens after another. There's a lot of information in our language and speech, and I'm doing another lecture on that. So if you have interest, just let me know and I'll get you the information. But we speak so interestingly because our words have meaning, and a lot of times we don't kind of think actively about the meaning of the words that we use. And so just kind of shifting some of your questions can shift the answers, right? So a very quick example of that, we say, how are you all the time? And if you go to Britain, a lot of times they'll say, are you all right? Are you all right? Yes, usually. um, in Australia, it's how are you going? And I definitely don't speak with the accent. They kind of truncate it. How are you going? Don't quote me on my accents. But the verbiage is interesting because, of course, a lot of times this is a nicety. We're not truly asking how someone is, which is just another layer to how curious our language is to ask someone a question and expect them to answer in the societally correct, oh, I'm good, I'm fine, all's well, whatnot. And so we'll pick a card, they say. We'll pick a card. I hope you guys like it when I kind of freestyle like this. So like let me know because we don't we can do anything really. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my god, I love them. Okay, so always the leading energy is the Eagle Spirit and Freedom card. It's also number 13, and I'll pull these a little closer. And our kind of underlying energies, this toadstool's kind of popped out of the back here. That's all about growth. That's going to be number 44, which is also known as an angel's number. And so if you think of Mother Mary as an angel, then that's the angel number. Guardians of the land and protection comes in strong too. So it's kind of implying that you're protected while you grow with that spirit of freedom. So you can see some of the imagery on these cards. I really love them. We've got that eagle, and then down in the corner, there's a little unicorn over the night sky and forest. Over on this side, we've got Guardians of the Land. That's going to be our protection card. It's got a really nice, some kind of buck or elk. And again, that's number 21. And lastly, we've got our toadstools card, which kind of, I think that's like a fairy lady. I'm not exactly sure. But that's that 44 too. You can see it on the bottom. I don't know how well that came through, but trust me, it's a 44. There's also a butterfly. I love these cards. They're very intricately beautiful, and they're the Sacred Forest Oracle by Denise Lynn. That's just the one I picked today. It's near me. And I've been talking a lot lately about how much nothing really matters. And I hope that comes off as empowering because I want you to know that, as we talk about this freedom, nothing matters. Do what you want, right? None of this matters. And it's one of those paradoxes where as much as nothing matters, everything matters. Every little moment, every second, every connection matters so much. And I was am so honored to know people in this life that I've known in past lives, and I had the opportunity to meet one of them this week. We kind of went our separate ways many years ago. We had moved different places and things like that. He's pretty much always been a coworker, including in the lives that I remember. But we have a very nice, jovial friendship as well. And so we certainly don't work together anymore at this time, at least I should say. I have a feeling we might work together again, which is really exciting. And part of the reason I'm sharing this is I'd been offered another job and I was kind of conflicted about it. And I ended up, thinking it was the bee's knees and then it wasn't. And I ended up declining it and yada, yada, yada. And then just like out of the blue, this old friend called me up and was like, "Oh, we've got some opportunities. You might be interested." And I am speaking to this in terms of comfort because I also want you to remember to sort of like accept a higher standard for yourself, for everyone really, but everything starts with us, right? So the more that you can do this for yourself, it just sort of radiates outward. That's a very easy way to create things, is to create with yourself first and then sort of watch the universe unfold around you. And that's where that time is really important, because you need to give the universe time to sort of catch up and evolve to the new version of you. And that's why patience is also so important, to continue to have faith and believe, and nurture and honor the version of you that you are currently in this moment. We truly change moment to moment. And I think a great example of that is if you hear, any kind of life-changing news, your life is immediately different in that single moment. And a lot of times we take our current state for granted, in the sense that we kind of think we'll always have this. And whether things are going well or they're not going so well, the truth is that everything is temporary. Part of living this physical life is in knowing that we are constantly changing and evolving and growing and rejuvenating and shifting in all ways possible. And we really don't talk too strongly to that a lot of times. Whew. So give yourself that ability to evolve and have patience and comfort as you're evolving. Know that you're free to evolve in whatever way that you choose. Know that you have unlimited options available to you. And, especially if you are in a situation where there's a lot of like fearfulness or feelings of being trapped, I encourage you to consider how you ascribe those to yourself. Because a lot of times we have more power than we give ourselves credit for. And we also have the freedom to choose any choices, right? We can choose anything. It's so wonderful. And people don't always believe that a lot of times. And there's this idea of fate into destiny, and that fate is kind of who you were born to be, and destiny who's you're born to become. And there's this idea that you can either continue being who you, or like the society you were born into, who you were supposed to be, kind of what was expected of you, right? So like the expectation of me would be to basically be a housewife and have a husband who provides for our family, and my role is to have a lot of babies and keep the house. And uh, I obviously did not choose that path. And I'm very happy about it. I think, and no disrespect to anyone who did choose that path, but I know for me, I think I would always wonder what else was out there. And I also have a bit of a personality where I'm constantly seeking better. I'm seeking adventure, I'm seeking experiences, I'm seeking uh, livelihood. And I love that. I was trying to say seeking and I accidentally said speaking. But I highly encourage you, when you kind of have those slips of words, to consider it, because I feel in my heart, one of my biggest roles here now is to speak truth. And, um, it's like if you ask me even 5 years ago, I'd be like, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're good. No, thank you. That's not on the radar. And here I am now speaking to you all. And I have had like a lot of what I would call like breadcrumbs, like little hints around the importance that it is for me to speak. I have really been developing my ability as a channel. And I truly, deeply believe that the people who are meant to see these messages will see them. And it's also so curious. Like we have so much more information available to us than a lot of times we take advantage of. And I'm being reminded again and again and again to allow myself to take advantage of these gifts as well, right? A lot of times I'll sort of forget that I have these skills and I'll be, struggling with whatever. And all of a sudden to myself, I'll think, oh my God, Alicia, like you are a fucking channel. Like you can, you can do this. Come on, girl. You don't actually need to, experience this kind of slow lane. You can go in the fast lane and be just fine and keep up and move at that pace. And I will say certain times it is nice to, take a break and stroll around and go on the slow lane, and that's okay. But we also sometimes are supposed to be in the fast lane and we shirk that responsibility. And so that's again where when I say that nothing really matters, what I'm implying here is that uh, it's more important for you to prioritize yourself, prioritize your own joy, your own happiness, your own comfort, your own love, your own freedom, rather than doing what someone else wants you to do, right? So that would be, again, prioritizing your destiny over your fate, prioritizing who you're intended to become over who you are now. Because it's like really cool to become something else, and I don't think I don't think we always give ourselves that credit. Uh, and I'm just so excited to see who we're all becoming, because if we and it just doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense that you would stay the exact same forever, right? Because like we would still be like going to school and like playing soccer. I don't know. I'm just making things up. I think we all have different lives, but think where you were at. And like, that's what's so crazy about that question too, is like the same as when, right? Our entire lives, we have been evolving and somehow we hit this point in adulthood. We're like, nope, that's it. No more. I'm not changing. This is who I am. Get used to it. And there's certain like aspects that are like that where they are stronger and they are more of our like natural aptitude. And I wish I could remember the book. But I'll see if I can remember and put it in the comments. But there's a book, and this guy has this, and I can see the cover. It has like a fish bowl on it, and the fish is jumping out of the bowl. And he has these ideas in there about your zone of greatness, and basically saying that a lot of us are operating in our zone of greatness, but we don't recognize we have a zone of excellence. And so, as much as we're doing just wonderfully, it's that there's something like even better out there that we're, and he goes through a bunch of different reasons, but a lot of them are that like we're fearful or intimidated by our own power to be in that zone of excellence. And so, if you know the book I'm talking about, it's a great book. I really enjoyed reading it. And I would just, in his honor, encourage you to try and live in your zone of excellence as much as possible. Because again, this can shift moment to moment, right? We can be doing great and then make like a horrible choice. And it goes in all ways, right? We can also be doing really horribly most of the time and then make a really excellent choice every so often. So do please know that we're always changing, and that's where, if you allow your freedom to align with your soul's divinity, in my mind, that would be the zone of excellence, or the highest, best good that you can embody. All right. Okay, we had some good numbers. Yeah, we'll talk about sixes. So y'all know I love sixes. I actually just got this 666 necklace. And I know there's a lot of pop culture references out there, but sixes are a very feminine number. A lot of times they represent like the domesticity and home life and family and our relationships. And sixes tend to speak of the internal. And as much as it can be, your home, your physical home, it's also the home that is within your heart that is non-physical. And it's that feeling of safety and comfort and joy and love and pure harmony, really. So today, with the support of all of our loving divine goddesses, uh, I would just encourage us to, and I want to show you this again. It's going, the energy is going. So if you're willing to pray with me, I would just invite you to say your name 3 times internally or even out loud if you're in a position to do so. Alicia, Alicia, Alicia. Yes, this prayer is for me as well. And I thank you deeply. I love you. And in the words of Mother Mary, we pray for the comfort and safety of all, all involved and all that aren't involved too. A lot of times we know our feminine goddesses as the one who hears our tears. And this implies that someone is listening to us and can hear us and is comforting us in the way that is most needed for us at this time. And may you all be blessed in her honor. And I thank you. I thank you, thank you, thank you. And with great joy, I appreciate you all being on this call and continuing to do this work. So if you have things come up or have questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to answer those. You can always go to roseco.co for more information and how to sign up for different events. I am doing more events in the Northwest area, Oregon and Washington of the US. And also, we've got the Free to Love program. So if you do want to work on that freedom, hi, that's for you. That program's all about freeing yourself from what no longer serves you and further aligning with your divine love. And with that, I will just say thank you again. I really appreciate y'all being here and watching as I go on this journey. We are doing retreats starting in October. So if you have an interest in coming out and checking us out in person, please do. We'd love to have you. Would love to meet your beautiful faces. And yeah, keep in touch. Keep in touch, folks. I'm here to serve. I'm here to do this. So I always love hearing from you all. So comment, subscribe, all those things, the internet. And I will see you when I see you. Lots of love. Bye, everybody.